I'm just reading through Siege of Bodenburg rules. I want to check my stream and make sure that I can actually, that there's some kind of resolution going on. Oh, good, you can see it clearly. Scoot my microphone closer. Introduction. Somewhere in Germany, amidst gently sloping mountains and large, densely wooded areas, lies the stronghold of Count von Boden. His castle, well protected by the surrounding terrain and its own sturdy walls, is garrisoned by heavily armed footmen and well trained archers. The peasants in the land, well aware of the safety the castle guarantees, are quite willing to supply the Count and his knights with provisions and arms. To stock up for the coming winter, Count von Boden has just ordered a wagon train to be brought in from Wernigerode, a nearby trade center. The wagons are filled with supplies purchased with tax money just collected after the harvest. So let me get this straight. Um, the king bought supplies from the people using the money he collected from the people. Why not just cut out the middleman and, go straight to enjoying the fruits of their own labor? Like, build their own castle. They don't need some administrator in a castle to do it for them. A Fawnleen of Lanskonets is hired to accompany the train and guide it safely to its destination. Do I have browser capture on here? I know I do. I could switch to another thing if I want to enable browser capture. Yeah, I can do that. I'm not going to, though. Let's look up what a Fawnleen is. The Fawnleen, in Swedish fanika, is an infantry unit approximately equivalent to the company or battalion which was used in parts of Europe during the Middle Ages. The size of the unit varied. Originally, a Fawnleen could consist of as many as 1,000 soldiers, but numbers were generally less, around 500. It was subdivided into sections, or rotten, singular rot, between 6 and 12 men. So we don't know exactly how many it could be. It says in France it was like 300, in Germany it was like 400. What are lansquenets? Servant of the land. Might be just pikemen? I'm reading Wikipedia. Okay. So a fondling of lansquenets is hired to accompany the train and guide it safely to its destination. These mercenaries have orders not to leave the wagons at any time because highwaymen of the worst sort are reported to be in hiding in the mountains. Once safely at the castle's gate, and as soon as they're hotmen? What does hotman mean? It means captain. Bizarre. Okay, I got into a Wikipedia rabbit hole because I was looking at different ranks and stuff. I was like, okay, what's a captain? What's the NATO code? What's this, what are the military ranks in the US? And then I was looking up um like what a general of the armies of the United States is the highest military rank in the United States, and it's been only conferred 3 times, and 2 out of those times were for dead people. One of them was in 1976, and one of them was in 2024. Like, what is wrong with you guys? We're not North Korea. We don't appoint people to different positions after they're dead. This is so dumb. Why are they posthumously awarding people this? This is just like a waste of time. It's like they're just trying to create like some class of nobility or aristocracy. What are we talking about again? Once safely at, wait. And as soon as their hot man received and distributed the gold, they will go home to spend their well earned hire. So if they manage to. What happens if they reach the gate? The enemies are still all around the place, and they're now handed the gold, and they've got to go home, but they don't have an escort to go home. I guess they just teleport out of there. The wagon train is on the way, but trouble is near. Wild Asiatic hordes of horse and footmen have overrun part of Europe, killing, raping, and looting. Suddenly and without warning, they appear at the gates of the castle. They know the stronghold must be taken before they can advance further into the country. Alas, a bitter and merciless siege is in the making. Order strikes the castle's defenders. Supplies are low. How long can they hold out? Okay, so I guess breaking through I guess the wagon arriving at the gates is fine, and leaving from the gates is fine because they're accompanied by the army, so they're safe. Table setup. Table dimensions 6 by 6 feet. Sector dimensions are 4 by 4 inches. Um, oh, here we go. So I think this is the original one. Why did this turn black? That's weird. Here. I think I broke Adobe. There we go. Okay, table dimensions 6 by 6 feet. Sector dimensions are 4 by 4 inches. SW is for supply wagon, and it starts. There's one that can. Well, I think these are showing the two places where you can choose to start from. Supply wagon and Lansquenets are in either corner. So I guess you can do both. I think there's only one supply wagon though. Because in this other picture from the reprint, that's what I was going to say. So the nice looking one, I think, is a reprint. Um, because the Huns are starting from the bottom of the map, and the good guys, or I guess the wagons at least, are starting from the top of the map. Because in the reprint, they don't really show that you have the option of one of those two. I don't know why it does that at certain zooms. K are mounted knights. Those don't appear until turn 3 or later. Huns are any 6 sectors, so you could put like 2 over here and 4 over here. AT are attackers, footmen, and siege equipment. So that's the Huns, footmen and siege equipment. SG is the Salligate sector. And that's at the back. What is a Salligate? A sally port is a secure, controlled entryway to an enclosure, e.g., a fortification or prison. The entrance is usually protected by some means, such as a fixed wall on the outside, parallel to the door, which must be circumvented to enter and prevents direct enemy fire from a distance. It may include 2 sets of doors that can be barred independently or to further delay enemy penetration. From around 1600 to 1900, a sally port was a sort of dock where boats picked up or dropped off ship crews from vessels anchored offshore. So it's like an airlock. Oh, that reminds me. I need to get a one of those transponders, for going across toll roads and everything. What is a postern? What is a wicket gate? It's just a pedestrian gate. Built within a large gate. What is a penstock? It's a sluice that controls water flow. Okay, back to the thingy. E. Sectors adjacent to the main gate. A, B, and C are sectors from which walls may be scaled. So right next to the Sally Gate, near the outer yard, and then you can do like a direct entryway, like direct breach of the walls straight into the courtyard, but then you'll have a cannon in your face. And the goal is to get to the keep. Like that's the big goal, I think. This game is designed to be played with individual 40mm figures. Hand-to-hand combat is the basic component of this game. Therefore, trays with several men should not be used. Every man is to be removed as soon as he has acquired the allotted number of hits. Defenders, 30 heavy footmen. So nowhere near like the 300 that they were talking about. This is like, here, I gotta get out my calculator. $90. So you got 90 people on the defending side. Then you got 116 people on the attacking side. Seems a little lopsided. See, these check marks just indicate to me that this was somebody's personal copy, but it's probably identical to the one that was like, the official thingy. All right, so 30 heavy footmen, which are knights, 15 archers, 12 mounted knights, but those don't appear before the third turn. So wait a second, what was it that it said up here? Mounted knights are turn 3 or later. Okay, that's fine. Wonder what the H in Bodenstadt's middle name is. Uh, 24 Lansquenets, which are regulars. 6 Lansquenets, which are arquebusiers. What is an arquebusier? They're a form of long guns. So it's kind of like a mini cannon. Interesting. So arquebusiers are more powerful than longbows, or more powerful than crossbows. They pretty much just punch through armor like it's not even there. Which apparently the Huns don't have. So they're OP, which is probably why you only get 6 of them the whole game. One supply wagon with 10 bags of supplies. I don't know why that would even matter. Um, because like they're either completely protected, um, or the game is over, I think, maybe. One castle, Elastolan number 9733. One small cannon in the castle courtyard. Which, why would you need a cannon when you got arquebusiers? Attackers are 40 heavy footmen, 14 archers, 24 mounted Huns, of which are 4 horse archers, 16 operators, F. dot catapults, siege tower. I think they mean 4? Like, does F dot mean 4? Like 16 operators, 4 catapults? FT would be feature or featuring. Um, one catapult, large, blide. What does blide mean? Just means trebuchet. Uh, and then catapults small, which are trebuchet. So they're repurposing a lot of figures and, models and stuff. So I think the reason why they keep using German stuff is, German terms is because, well, first of all, it's Bodenstadt, so it's, a German castle. But also because probably they were repurposing it from other sets that were using that stuff. I need to move my microphone back. It keeps clipping into the red. 4 movable parapets. I don't know what the parapets are because we've already got a siege tower. So what's the difference between a movable parapet and a siege tower? Oh, it's just like a wooden wall. It's like a siege barrier. Uh, 4 scaling ladders and 1 siege tower. Sector capacity. Um, oh, okay. So you could just put them all in one, well, you could put all of them in one little sector, but you could put a significant amount in one sector because you got like a ton of little figurines. So you could have them all bunched up in one area, or you could just have them all spread out, like in I'm gonna turn on my heater and it's gonna affect the audio, but I'm cold. Sector capacity 6 footmen or 6 equestrians, maybe mixed. 1 siege tower with a maximum of 8 footmen on it and 6 footmen at the base. So you'd have 14 guys in one square as long as you got the siege tower. Or one sector, not one square, I guess. Only one piece of heavy equipment, the catapult, siege tower, or supply wagon, is allowed in any one sector. Up to 6 footmen, not mounted men, may be added to a sector containing heavy equipment. 2 parapets and or 3 scaling ladders may be added to any sector without heavy equipment. Okay, so there's a different max for parapets and scaling ladders. Setup. The defender's 30 knights and 15 archers are considered to be inside the buildings of the Bodenburg. So let's go back to the map. This is buildings right here. So they're considered quote unquote inside there. I don't know when they come out. The 30 Lansquenets. Wait, 30 Lansquenets. Yeah, 30 Lansquenets are arranged around the supply wagon in the sectors marked L on either side of the board behind the castle. There's no reason for me to be staying up late. I could just keep my sleep schedule through the weekend. So I guess you're just supposed to pick a corner. Like, I don't think you can um, mix and match. Because, I mean, narratively, it looks like they're accompanying the train. Like, in the reprint, um, like, they make it look like you can only come in from one corner. And, like, hang on, let me go to the narrative again. Yeah, I don't know why in the reprint version they show Quedlinburg. Is that even mentioned anywhere in here? No, it's not. I don't know where the Quedlinburg thing or Quedlin even came from in the reprint. Quedlinburg. The reprint one just had people making stuff up. Mm. The 30 Lansquenets are arranged around the supply wagon in the sectors marked L on either corner of the board behind the castle. Well, it does say on either corner. Like if I say I have 2 guards on either side of me, That could mean I have one guard on each side. The 12 mounted knights are kept off the board until. So I think you can do both. The 12 mounted knights are kept off the board until turn 3 or later at the defender's option, when they may be placed in two sectors marked K. Wait, hang on a second. So the mounted knights always have to come from this upper right hand corner, whereas the Lanceconettes and Supply Wagon can come from either corner, but I think since you've only got one Supply Wagon, you gotta pick a side. But as for the Lanceconettes, I think they can be coming from either side. They'll just be like, hey, let's split up and meet back at the thingy later. But, I mean, it'd make more sense if, like, you just said pick a corner. Just pick a corner. Because you got 30 Lanceconettes. And only 6 people can fit per sector. So 6 times 6 is 36. So yeah, I mean, there's some variation that you could make, but it's almost negligible. And they're supposed to be escorting the wagon, so, it would make more sense if you just had to pick a corner. Like, it's just really ambiguous, I think, and they could have disambiguified it. Disambiguated. The attacker selects any 6 of the 12 markers sectors marked H. But this time he may place only 4. He may, so you don't have to. Well, where would you? Hang on a second. Only 4 Huns in each one of these 6 sectors, and you got 24 mounted Huns. I think that's what they mean. H means Huns. think they're just referring to. Are they just referring to the mounted ones? Like the mounted attackers? I think they're just talking about the mounted ones. So pick 6 of the 12, any six. So you can do one on this side and five on this side, or like four and two, and we get blah blah blah. And you could have like one person in one of these, and then like bunch all the rest up on the other side. So it says at this time he may place only 4 Huns in each one of these 6 sectors. So maybe later in the game you get more Huns? No, because that exhausts all of them. All the attackers' remaining forces, including siege equipment, are placed in any of the 16 sectors marked AT. So that's that stuff right there. I've got to go to bed soon. My eyeballs are having trouble staying open. Map note: the entire castle area, 25 sectors, counts as one single sector as far as firing range is concerned, while archer fire is restricted. See castle rules. Catapults can hit any part of the castle from any direction as long as they are within range. I don't know what the range of the catapult is. Here we go, catapult fire. So you have to be further away to use the large catapult. What is a fortress gun? I think they're talking about the cannon. No, this isn't talking about range. No, it is, because it's saying target distance in sectors. This is just talking about dice usage, so yes, you could be like right up against the wall and be firing to the opposite corner. And this is just talking about how many dice you're able to use, um, to determine the power of the hit. So, like, okay, the entire castle counts as like one square. You can be like just barely touching it here, and then reach all the way across to here. Now, I don't know why the number of, I'm assuming it has to do with hit dice. Um, Yeah, I'm losing consciousness here. Like, oh, I know what I was gonna say. Why is it that the damage you deal is decreased the further away the target is? I mean, if you got mass, like, and it's coming in from an angle, it's going to overcome the air resistance and be just rapidly accelerating towards terminal velocity, which for a gigantic rock that's being shoved into a catapult is pretty significant. Uh, while archer fire is restricted, sea castle rules, catapults can hit in any direction. No, catapults can hit any part of the castle from any direction as long as they're within range. Victory conditions. In order to avoid any possible confusion, the Huns and attackers will be identified as invaders, while the castle's defenders, including the Lansquenets, will be identified as knights in all of the following rules. Why could they not have just. Okay, look. If all of these are going to be knights, then what do you do with the ones who are not considered knights? Because you got archered and heavy. No, those are knights. Those are mounted knights. Wait, hang on a second. No, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Uh, so Lansquenets are considered knights. The castle's defenders. Well, the supply wagon isn't doing any defending. Is a small cannon considered a knight? The invaders win if they um, eliminate all of the knights, not including Lansquenets, because the Lansquenets are mercenaries. Um, or they capture the castle within the prescribed time limit. The knights win if they eliminate all of the invaders. Um, the knights win if they eliminate all of the invaders or manage to hold the castle throughout the entire game. The game ends upon completion of the 15th turn. So I can totally see how this game would just turn into a draw. Sequence of a complete turn. Quote unquote complete turn. I don't know why they put quotation marks around that. 1. Invaders move men and equipment. 2. Knights shoot archers. Doesn't say anything about archers shooting back. Three. Invaders fire catapult. Like, I'm hoping they'll explain this later on, because that seems like a pretty important thing there. No, because there's okay. They're talking about enemy archers, but when do the invading archers get to do stuff? I'm looking in here for when archers are supposed to go. Um. Alright, so knights shoot archers, invaders fire catapults. Invaders check morale when where physical contact with the enemy has been made. Invaders resolve melees. This ends the invader's portion of a turn. Oh, I was looking at this from the defender's side. Invaders shoot archers, knights fire cannon, knights check morale, knights resolve melees. This ends a complete turn. All yeah, I don't want to read that part yet. Um, so this ends invaders portion of the turn. 6 knights move. 7 invaders shoot archers. Uh, knights fire cannon. Knights check morale. Knights resolve melees. This ends a complete turn. I just want to know when archers are allowed to shoot. So at some point we'll find out when archers are able to do this stuff. Yeah, I'm falling asleep. I can't keep doing this. I literally cannot keep doing this. Yep, I'm just gonna have to call it here. I am too sleepy to do any more of this.